Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my 2017 NFL predictions for Week 5. And anyway, let me get started. Well, the first game, I'm going to reluctantly take the New England Patriots to win on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. New England, despite their struggles, they're still a very good road team. I see them as 14-3 on the road since 2015, 7-2 out of conference in the same time span. They're also number one total offense, I believe, as well. I know they're, as far as their defense, scoring defense is near the bottom, I think, and also the total defense is either at the bottom or near the bottom. But the team has been very inconsistent. The defense obviously is having their struggles. Now, at home, I mean, Tampa Bay does have number 3 run defense in the league. New England has, the 4 games to start the season, they've given up a 300-yard passer at least in each one. Tampa Bay, though, for New England's benefit, only has 1 defensive sack, and they're also allowing 316 passing yards per game. So New England's going to put up their passing numbers in this one. They should. And they're going to have difficulty getting to Tom Brady. I mean, I'm going to take New England to win this one, but it probably will be competitive and close. Now, next game, I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills on the road to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals. Buffalo, we're questioning ourselves now. Is Buffalo for real? Is this the Mirage? 3-1? Number 1 in scoring defense in the NFL. Mike and Hyde has 3 interceptions on the season already. Buffalo has only allowed 1 passing touchdown this season. Unbelievable. It's very early. Buffalo's done this before. I think they've had like 5-2 starts, 4-2. They've been, I mean, we got to see if they could sustain this. I mean, others have a right to be skeptical. I'm a little bit. I mean, I'm from New York originally. I'm somewhat Buffalo Bills fan. I'm Jets fan. Giants first, but then Buffalo afterwards. I'm happy. I'm enjoying it right now. It may be short-lived. The Buffalo is in first place. I do like Buffalo to win this game. Now, Cincinnati has been playing better. Over the last couple of weeks, they almost beat Green Bay. And then they played them very tough, and Green Bay's, like a perennial contender for the Super Bowl. And they also, I mean, they beat, well, it was Cleveland last week, but they still won the game. Could have easily won the last 2 games. Ever since they got rid of, I believe, their offensive coordinator, they have looked much better on offense. They will. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bengals pull this one out. But considering the way Buffalo is playing, it's hard to go against them right now. I'm going to take Buffalo in a close one. Next game. Well, the New York Jets, my Jets got their swagger back, 1-2 in a row. They played against, maybe Jacksonville's mediocre. I mean, whatever, the Jets will take the win. Jets are number 7 in pass defense right now. They had 255 rushing yards last week, and their run defense came alive at the end part of that game. It's a very good sign for them. And also the fact they're going to play Cleveland. It is on the road, but Cleveland's like 1-22 in the last 23. They're only averaging about 77 rushing yards per game right now. So the Jets' run defense may not, even though it came on strong at the end of that game against Jacksonville, it may still not be the best, but it doesn't have to be playing the Browns. So, and the Browns with their quarterback, I like the Jets in this one. I'm going to take the Jets. So anyway, next game. Well, I'm going to take the Detroit Lions at home over the Carolina Panthers. These 2 teams are combined 6-2 record right now. It should be a great game. Both the teams' defenses are okay. Both are actually giving up the same amount of points per game, 17.5. Detroit's 7 defensive interceptions, number 1 in the NFC right now. And Carolina, and to their advantage, maybe they have won 5 of the last 6 they've played against the Lions. But the Lions right now have a much better turnover differential, +9. Carolina -5. I think Detroit wins the turnover battle. They are at home, and I do believe they win the game. I like Detroit at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts barely at home over the San Francisco 49ers. Colts basically are going to win this by default, I think. They've won the last 3 against the 49ers. There hasn't been an abundance of scoring in these games. San Francisco has lost 18 of 19 overall in regular season. San Francisco 2-16 on the road since 2015. They're also #1 in penalties. I think that could really play a figure prominently in this game. Maybe that could be really the difference. San Francisco has played a number of their games very close, but they're still, I mean, they find some way to lose them. They're kind of like the Chargers and then the Giants right now. So I'm going to take the Colts to win this one at home. Now, next game. Well, another team I'm picking reluctantly. I'm going to take the Titans to win on the road against Miami. Quarterback Marcus Mariota day for day as of right now. Tennessee, they got plastered last week. They were completely annihilated, given a 57 points. I don't know how that happened. This was a team, I mean, I had speculated, a number of people looking at them as perhaps this favorite to win the AFC South title. Now, I know it's early yet. The Titans, they're resilient. Maybe they'll bounce back. But fortunately, they are playing Miami, so they have a good shot to win this game. Miami just can't score. They're averaging about 8 points per game right now. They only have 6 points in their last 2 games. I think they're starting somebody else now in place of quarterback Jay Cutler. Maybe that's what they need to be rejuvenated and revived. Miami, I mean, they've been so terrible offensively. They've been shut out in 8 of 12 of the last 12 quarters. I mean, or this season, I should say, they played because they didn't play the first game, but they did. Out of 12 quarters, they've been shut out in 8 of them. So really, it's another by virtue of default game, you could say. I'm going to take Tennessee because they're just, Miami's just a little bit worse than the Titans right now. And I mean, Tennessee, and they are, I mean, this is the better team. So I'm going to take the Titans on the road to win. Now, next game. I'm going to take the Giants at home over the LA Chargers. This is the classic toilet bowl game. 0-8 record combined for these two teams. Giants right now, I mean, they seem like their offense is gradually getting better as the weeks progress, and maybe a good sign for them. Their leading running back, Paul Perkins, 61 yards. They have so much trouble running this ball, and it really could impact them this game. However, the Chargers still have a propensity to lose as well. Giants are at home. Chargers are also giving up like 163.5 yards rushing per game. So the Giants might be able to get a little bit more rushing yards in this one than usual. And I think, and as far as they go, and Chargers, I mean, don't get me wrong, Philip Rivers is there. I mean, they always have a chance to win with him. They can make this game close, given that the Giants are not playing well. But I think if they're Giants right now being at home, that's really going to be about the only difference in this game. If the Chargers were at home, I probably would have taken them over the Giants. So I like the Giants to win this one. Now, next game. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles to win at home over the Arizona Cardinals. And Philadelphia right now, I mean, their run defense has been phenomenal. They've only allowed about 71 rushing yards per game. I mean, they are right now they're number 3 in total offense. I like Carson Wentz. I think he's going to do very, very well. They are, I mean, this team right now, I mean, they beat Washington in that game, that week 1 game. They have played very well this season. Number 1 team, the NFC, 3-1 right now. They win this game, go 4-1. I mean, they're really going to be superseding expectations. Arizona right now, I mean, got to be fortunate that they have Carson Palmer and Larry Fitzgerald, because I don't know really what else they have in this particular one. The team has given up 17 sacks this season. That is number 1 in the NFL right now. And if they can't protect Carson Palmer in this game, I mean, it could be a very long day for them. They're playing a very good Eagles team. They can't really generate much rushing yards. A lot of it's attributed to the running back David Johnson, has been out for a while. And really, they're only averaging 57 rushing yards per game. There's just not a lot going for Arizona right now. They just barely got by abysmal San Francisco 49er team last week. They won by 3 points. That was an overtime win. Now they're on the road against Philadelphia. I just can't. It's hard for me to see them winning. I like Philadelphia at home. Next game. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh right now, they got their swagger back. They played a very good game against Baltimore. I mean, it's obviously the Ravens don't have that ravenous defense anymore, but still it was a tough divisional game. They really took it to Baltimore. Now, they still, I mean, wide receiver Antonio Brown, I understand he was a little bit irate and upset. He didn't get maybe the touches he wanted and the receptions he wanted in that game. But, I mean, it's funny because they still won it. They won it by a good margin. And wide receiver Antonio Brown didn't have a dominant performance. So it just shows you how good Pittsburgh actually can be if they're at their full potential. Jacksonville, they had a tough loss to the New York Jets. They are, I mean, they only have one defensive sack. They have 18 defensive sacks, which is number 1 in the NFL. So they have a shot if they could get to Roethlisberger and they could really put that strong pressure on him. They have a chance to win this game. The Jacksonville Jaguars look like I mean, it's early. I see them as improved as opposed to last season. That being said, I think the offense in this game is going to be even better for Pittsburgh. I think Antonio Brown is going to come out full throttle. I think he's going to get at least 100 yards receiving. They were able to beat Baltimore last week by the amount they did with really Antonio Brown not playing an integral role in that game. And if he does it in this game against Jacksonville, I got news for you. Pittsburgh it would be very hard for them to lose. So I like Pittsburgh at home. Now, next game. I'm going to take the Oakland Raiders at home over the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Oakland, I mean, I know about Derek Carr, but I think in this game, I'm going to see what happens with Crabtree and Amari Cooper. If they could have good games, I think they have a good shot to win this one. They have 0 defensive interceptions right now, but they are 7-2 at home since 2016. They're still a very good home team. I know they'll be going with a different quarterback, but they got enough offensive weapons, I think, to get this done. And really, a lot of it is because, too, that Baltimore just hasn't looked very good the last 2 weeks. They got to go on the road. Baltimore's been outscored 70-16 in the last 2 games. And they are dead last in passing yards per game. Are they going to be able to get that ball down the field enough times and get it into scoring position where they could put the points on the board? I'm a little skeptical about that. I think really it's just the fact that Oakland just has a little bit more on their offense despite Derek Carr being out. And I think that's going to be the difference in this game. And the fact that Baltimore's defense does not look good as it has in previous seasons. I don't think Oakland has to be great offensively to win. I think that they could just be mediocre and adequate, and they could get this win. So I like Oakland at home. Next game, I'm going to take the Rams at home over the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams, number 1 scoring offense. This is like the Bills and this is like the NFC version of the Bills right now because the Rams are maybe making believers out of people. It's early yet, 3-1. I think they were 3-1 last season perhaps, but they had 79 more points I think at this time than they did last season after 4 games. So their offense is much better. Running back Todd Gurley is having a very solid season. Really, right now, Seattle, to me, okay, I know they blew out Indy last week. That was the Colts, though. The Seattle Seahawks, since last season, 3-6-1 on the road. This was a team, I mean, I'm looking going to the season. This is a team that could be a dominant force in the NFL. This team had been a perennial playoff contender at the very least. But they look like they're a little bit on the decline. Somebody had said one time, well, because Marshawn Lynch, since he didn't get that ball in that Super Bowl, and they wound up losing that Super Bowl to the Patriots a few seasons ago or what have you, and they've been jinxed since then. Well, what it is it's not so much a jinx, it's the fact they just don't have Marshawn Lynch. That's all it is. They don't have that dominant running game that they had in previous season. That was the difference. This is a team now that really, sadly, it's becoming more one-dimensional. It's more about their passing game, and their defense doesn't seem like it's quite the same that it was in seasons past as well. So, and also, Seattle has lost the last 3 at the Rams. I mean, I think right now, the way the Rams are playing, it's hard to go against them being at home. They went into beat Dallas last week at Dallas. Now at home against Seattle. I like the Rams to win this at home. Now, next game. I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Now, as many of you may know, Green Bay beat them last season in the playoffs. A lot of people are thinking, well, Dallas is seeking retribution. Well, they got to win this one. Well, not necessarily. Dallas just does not look the same like they did last season. And Green Bay, right now, they seem to find a way to improvise and get through their injuries very well. Despite their injuries, they are playing very well. I think right now, I mean, Jordy Nelson, if he is playing, he will be very, he will have a good game, I believe. This is a team right now, I mean, Dallas has lost 2 of 3. They're really, I mean, resorting possibly to that zone coverage. I don't know if that's actually to their benefit or not. This team right now, I mean, Dallas, the only thing in their favor besides being at home in this game is that there's going to be obviously some urgency factor. Being 2-2, they certainly don't want to go to 2-3 at this point in the season because, I mean, I think, as I stated before, that Philadelphia is going to win their game at home against Arizona. Philadelphia is likely going to go to 4-1. And if Dallas loses that game, of course, they drop to 2-3, and they'll be 2 out after 5 games out of first place. And see, that's the only thing which, you know, could make some people a little ambivalent about this game. But that being said, I think Green Bay is just going to find their will to get this done somehow. I just think they're playing a little bit better, and I do like Green Bay to get this done on the road. Next game. I'm going to take the Chiefs. This is another reluctant pick. I mean, this is the one I've been kind of debating over and mulling over for a little bit. I'm going to take Kansas City to win on the road over Houston. Now, Houston looked phenomenal last week. They put up 57 points on the Titans. And the Titans were a team, as I stated before, many have speculated on them being the favorite to win the division, the AFC South. I don't know about that now. Deshaun Watson, I mean, he's really looked great at quarterback. Kansas City, right now, I mean, they have their running game is solid. Kareem Hunt, 502 rushing yards right now. They are one of the best teams in the NFL in total yards on offense. Definitely, I definitely would put them number 1 in the power rankings right now until something else, until proven otherwise. They are the only undefeated team in the league. They've also, I mean, they've beaten good competition. They've beaten Washington and they beat Philadelphia. They've had very good, they've had some games where they really have played some tough teams. But this will obviously could be a daunting test for them this game because Houston looks like right now they are on fire. They seem to have gotten their offense in gear. They did everything but beat New England the week before last week, and they know they probably should have gotten, and they had an opportunity, was squandered big time in that one by them. And then they wind up taking it to the Titans. So in this game, I wouldn't be shocked if Houston wins this one. But that being said, it's kind of like, I guess I'm going with Kansas City until proven otherwise. I'm going to just go with them mainly because they are the only undefeated team in the league, and I think it's safe to pick them right now. But Houston will give them everything they have. And anyway, I'm going to take Kansas City to win on the road. Now, last but not least, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to win at home over the Minnesota Vikings. This is a very... This was a game I really wasn't really sure of as well. Chicago's going to go with their rookie quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky. We're going to see what he's made of in this one, obviously. Minnesota, I just can't seem to figure them out. It seems like this is one team I just can't pick right any week when I think there's all the reason in the world for them to win the game. Like I tried picking them last week, you remember, and I got it wrong, admittingly. I went with Minnesota. Oh, there's no way they could lose. They're at home. Detroit will lose to them. Well, am I going to get this pick wrong again? I guess I'm going to find out. We'll find out after the Monday night game. But just on a hunch, I'm going to go with Chicago being home. Maybe they'll be rejuvenated with a different quarterback on the team. And I think in this game, Sam Bradford's status is still iffy, and it will be a road game. And the thing about it is Minnesota, what's in their favor, though, they have won 4 of their last 5 games against the Bears. But I'm going to take Chicago at home. I think they're going to get a little energy with the new quarterback and being at home. So I like Chicago to win at home. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for my 2017 NFL picks for week number 5. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.